Okay. Okay. So I think around what is the class strength, Ashwant?
48, ma'am.
Mom, it's 48, mom. 49 actually. 49, mom.
49, ma'am.
49. Okay. Few are absent today. All right. So I think mostly it's biology. Okay. So most of you are from bio background. Okay. Uh, yes. So CS is handful students are from CS stream. Okay. So with respect to the CS students who have just posted your comments, I wanted to know how good are you in C language or any other language like Python. You might be knowing about Python, Java, or C++. So how good are you guys in programming languages? Just quickly type in chat box. Okay, let me ask Naren. Yes, how good are you in programming?
Programming, I completed my C programming in Badian University, man. As a course.
Okay.
So 1 year course,
My
man.
question is, my question is very simple. I just wanted to know if you are good in programming or you're okay or you're expert. These three words just
Good, ma'am.
good, good. Okay.
Good.
Then Sai Pranav.
I'm good at programming, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Then Saran. Saran. Sorry. Okay. Then Hari Raghuram.
I'm good at programming.
Okay. Kirtini.
Good, ma'am.
Good. Okay. Okay. I think few have got CS background. That is in your class around 4 to 6. I think you have CS stream students, and it's a good news that they say they are, good in C language. Okay. So with respect to our lab, okay, for this particular semester, for next 3 or 4 months, you will be having this lab, and I will just show you the course plan which we have prepared for this particular lab. So you will have 4 faculties, myself and Lieben sir, Ines madam, and Shamla madam. Okay. So this particular lab, it is going to be there for 4 hours. Okay. So it will be for the timing would be from 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock. So this has to be updated because it's an old version. So the timing is, please make a note of it. It is around morning 9 to 1 o'clock you will have. And the credit for this particular lab, it could be two credit lab, this particular C programming is. And the basic instructions for this particular lab would be the attendance. Of course, you have to have mandatory attendance. Make sure you attend the classes regularly. Since the very first point is most of you are from biology background, I want you guys to attend the classes regularly. So how we have planned this, out of the 4 hours, the first 2 hours or 1.5 hours will be the theory session. Okay, we will be handling you in routine basis, like I'll be handling 2-3 classes, then other 3 faculties, they will also handle few topics for you guys. So after 1.5 hours or 2 hours of theory class, you will be given 1.5 hours and again to work on the programs. Okay, so you have to do it on your own, hands-on. You have to try. Unless you try all the programming languages, it is not only with respect to C, any of the programming languages, you can teach with the logics or you can teach with the syntaxes. Okay, but if you have to become good or expert in that particular language, programming language, it is all up to you. Okay, so if you are not familiar with, say for example, English language, you're most comfortable in your mother tongue, or if you're most comfortable in talking in Tamil. So all of a sudden, if somebody is asking you to talk in English, okay, so this could be a good example for you. So immediately, if you wanted to talk, it is not that easy, right? You will struggle, and what you will do is you will just add few of the common words which you guys know, and you will frame a sentence and you just try to talk. So a lot of people might help you to learn English, and a lot of people might help you to, they may give you suggestions or advices to learn English and how to talk English. But unless you practice on your own to talk English, okay, and only when you are committing some mistakes when you're talking, when there is errors like the grammatical errors, or it could be the phrase errors, only when you do have all such errors, you will have an platform to correct yourself and to talk well, right? The same logic goes for any of the programming languages. It could be your C, C++, Python, Java, JavaScript, any lab or any languages, okay? So since this particular C programming is there for civil students, you might be wondering, ma'am, come on, we are from civil. Why am I supposed to read this? Study this particular programming language? So most of you have to agree on this statement, because see, even if you are getting placed, okay, most of the core companies, you might get placed, or the second option left is you have to join in IT companies, correct? So that is the basic reason for introducing this particular lab for you guys. So it is better to get prepared, get geared off right from the day one, okay? So if we are handling with few topics, I request you to just go through the recordings. Of course, we will be sharing it with you, so you can go through the same recordings. And apart from that, I want you to put some extra effort, okay? At least half an hour per day, okay? We do spend a lot of time in chatting in WhatsApp, looking into all the social media sites. So at least half an hour time you have to spend for this language, because most of you have said you are from biology background. So this is my friendly advice. Please make sure you spend half an hour of time. You try to register in any of the free online courses, so that it will be an added advantage for you, where you can also add that particular course to your resume, okay, that is to your CV. So one suggestion is, in order to get a good understanding apart from what we teach, right? Like if you're, as you all know, it's everything going to be on virtual classrooms. If at all you are in person, if you are meeting, we can have a lot of interactions, but everything is going in virtual mode. So extra effort has to come from your end, okay? So without that extra effort, I don't guarantee you guys to get or score more marks. And again, one sincere suggestion is, please don't copy any of the codes, okay? Whatever question we give you, okay, it could be an easy level of programs, or it could be the middle range, or it could be the toughest program. I request you all to go through the concept well, okay, and please make sure you do coding on your own. Don't try to get it from your friends. So around 6 or 7 of your friends say that they do have good programming language knowledge, right? So I don't want you to get the codes and copy the codes, okay, and submit it, okay? So this is the one simple advice I would request you to do or follow. Because if you are doing all these malpractices, that is, if you're copying the codes from internet, or if you're getting it from your friends, it is not going to be useful or helpful for you in any ways, okay? Maybe you will be scoring good marks, but it is of no use, because right, this virtual mode itself has taught us a great lesson. Because even in the placement, a lot of the students, they are struggling because they have got good marks, they have got around 9+ CGPA, but they do not have the practical knowledge, okay? So that is what companies are looking for. So I would rather advise you to follow any of the courses. You can register yourself online, okay, and a lot of materials are available. We will share mostly the if you want it, okay, all these things are additional information. If you're really interested, you can approach us. We will share other online resources which is available for free, okay, and even you can search for it and you can find it. At least one course, try to register for it, okay, take up some exams so that you will have a strong background, okay? So with these instructions, so far so good. Let me ask someone, because since it's virtual mode, I don't know, I feel like talking to myself. So Shivani, so far is it everything is clear?
Yes, ma'am, it's clear, ma'am.
Okay, Vinod.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it clear, Kana?
Yeah, ma'am, it's clear.
Okay, fine. So with respect to the mark split up for this particular lab, you will have two examinations. That is, we call it as CAT is continuous assessment test. We have got CAT 1 and CAT 2. So for this CAT 1, you will have the conversion of the marks, whatever you score, it will be converted into 30. And the second part, that is CAT 2, you will again be converted into 30 marks. For the lab assignments, we will be having around 8 to 9 assignments. So all these assignments will be taken as an average and it will be converted to 30 marks. Then you will have to record. A record is something I will give you the template of how you have to do it. So those records, it's going to take again 10 marks. So this is going to be the total out of 100. Okay. So mandatory attendance, of course, we will have mandatory for attendance for both the test CAT 1 and CAT 2, okay, because we don't give any excuses for reappearing for the examinations. Once we conduct it, that's it. We don't consider again for your absence, we will not be considering recats and all those stuff. Okay, so the key concepts will be these topics, which we will be looking into. And the list of lab experiments will be these things. Okay, you will have operators, you will have control statements. Then these two are very basic stuff, that is operators and control statements. Then you will have some advanced topics. You will have functions, arrays, pointers, string structures, files. Don't worry, we will walk you through all the concepts, and then and there we will be giving you the programming assignments which are completely related to the particular topic. Okay, so you don't have to worry. And textbook, it is better if you have the soft copy or hard copy of this particular book. Okay, I will share this for a course plan with you guys. So this book, it is the basics. Okay, so it will be covering all the important concepts which we which are the necessary elements. So I will share this particular course plan with you guys to have better understanding. Okay, so I will start presenting my today's class. Okay, so course plan is done. Okay, next is about let us get into the class. So introduction. Once again, I'll just zoom my screen. So in today's class, we will just look into few things which are very basics, because since many of you are coming from different background, so I wanted to give you an introduction and idea about what this language is, what the C language is. Okay, at any point of time, if I'm going fast, you can stop me so that I will control my pace. I can go a little bit slow. Okay, so please try to concentrate on the presentation, and I will share the video with you guys. Okay, so you don't have to make notes. I mean, you don't have to take any notes there. So just focus on the screen if you are looking into mobile or laptop. Okay, so before getting into this, I have one more question. How many of you are using laptops and how many are using mobile phones? Just type in this chat box. Just type, if you're using laptop, just type laptop. Okay, if you're using mobile, just type it there. I want everyone to type so that we will have a count on that. All done? Okay, Naren, what you do is, I will continue with the class. Naren can just have a count of how many are using in mobile, how many are using in laptop. Okay, just do it from your screen, chat box.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, so with respect to the introduction session, you will have the history of C. Okay, so the C language, it is basically a structure-oriented programming language. Okay, so it has been developed at Bell Laboratories in 1972 by a person called Dennis Ritchie. Okay, so right from this statement, okay, you can figure it out. It is going to be a structure-oriented programming language. Okay, so C is a programming language, and what is structure oriented? Can anybody give an explanation about that term? Structure oriented. A simple term, a structure oriented. If you have got any idea about it, you can unmute your mics and you can talk. See, it has to be interactive. Only then we will know, if you guys are aware about what I'm talking, or if you're just dreaming somewhere else. Okay. Should I point out, or can anybody give the answer? Okay, Vinod?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You have any idea about that?
Mom, no, mom, I have no idea about it. Sorry.
Okay, okay. No, you don't have to be sorry, please. Then,
Okay.
Taruna?
No idea, mom.
No idea, okay. See, to be simple, very simple, you can take it as structure oriented. It could be, you will have already defined syntaxes and semantics. Okay, there is some syntax is something called, you have to follow this particular rules. So for your college, you have timings, right? It starts from 9 and your afternoon session ends by 1 o'clock. So this is a rule, this is a syntax or a protocol. So semantics is you add some meaning to it. So if you are obeying to the rules, so that is gives you a positive semantics, positive meaning. If you don't obey, it will be a negative semantics. So already the person called Dennis, he's the inventor of this language. He has developed this language with a predefined syntax and semantics. So you forget about the semantics because that is something which we have to put effort on. Just remember this term, that is syntax. You will have something called syntax. I'll just type it here for you to understand. Okay, so this syntax means, this is what I'm talking about. Syntax means you will have a basic structure. Rather, if you have to write an happy or exciting statement in an English language, it has to end with this exclamatory symbol. Okay, this is a very basic English knowledge statement. Correct? If you are excited about getting into CIT, okay, if you are in a situation to express it, so how do you write it? You write, hooray, I got admission into CIT, right? Admission in CIT. So this is a simple English statement where you express your excitement. Okay, so you are very happy, so you have to express it. So for expressing your excitement in English language, we have this exclamatory as a predefined syntax, right? So we will stick on to it. In between the words, wherever we are excited, wherever we have to raise a tone, we will use this exclamatory statement. So this is a simple example for you guys to understand what could be the syntax. Okay, so similarly, in the C language, you have got lot to do with the syntax. Okay, don't worry, I'll teach you all these things. So it's, you're in just in first line of this document. So it's about the structure oriented means it's very simple. You have got a lot of syntaxes there, which has already been predefined, and we have to just use it and throw it. That's it. Okay. So second point is the features. So this particular language called C programming language, it is being derived from some other language called B. Okay. So this is a language which is a prior language from C. Okay. So C is being derived from earlier language called B. It's very simple. Like, we do have other languages in Tamil Nadu and Kerala, Karnataka. We do have other languages like Malayalam. We have Telugu, Kannada. So right from Tamil, we say that we claim that all these three languages are the followers of Tamil. So it is being derived from Tamil. Kannada is derived from Tamil. Telugu is derived from Tamil. Malayalam is derived from Tamil. Okay. So similarly, the C language, it has been derived from another language called B. Okay. So that is a basic combined programming languages. Okay. So it's another language from which it's been derived. So this particular language called C, what is the reason behind its invention is, it has been invented for implementing the Unix operating system. So you have got operating systems in your laptop. If you are getting a new laptop, you will have an option to load the OS, right? That is operating system. It could be a normal OS, okay, or you can have a division in your hard disk. You can use 2 or 3 OS, okay, depending upon your laptop and your requirement. So this particular language called C was invented for one of the operating system called Unix. Okay, when this person called Dennis was into this lab, that is Bell Lab, he was trying to do some operations on this particular system, that is operating system called Unix. At that time, he has invented this language called C language. Okay, so this is the basic history which you guys have to know about the C language. So what are the basic features of C language? Features are, it's the characters. So features is nothing but, I'll just point out someone. Okay. Okay. Sai Pranav. Oh, just give me your answer. What is the general meaning for these features?
Sorry, ma'am.
Features.
Features. It's portable and reliable.
No, I'm not asking about that. It's like, what is it? What does the term feature mean?
Feature means the significance of that something. Significance of something.
Significance, okay. Let me ask. Nandini? Nandini V.
Ma'am,
Hmm.
characteristics.
Characteristics, okay. Its features has got something to do with characteristics, okay. Okay, then Kiruba.
Ma'am, notable components.
Yes, good. Okay. So she's right. So it's about, we do have a lot of significances, we do have a lot of characteristics, but features is something like an attractive points or notable elements. Okay. So this particular language, it is more reliable, it's portable, okay, it's flexible. All these are simple terms. Okay. You can just have your own self-explanation for this. It is, of course, interactive, it is modular and effective and efficiency. So it's about reliable is, yes, you can have a lot of reliability of C language. You can have a lot of trust to that. And portable is, if you are working in your laptop with this particular language, C language, you can directly copy that into your pen drive and you can come to the college. You can, you use the same code in the college systems. The systems available in computers, available in the college. With the same code, you can use it. So that's something portable, okay? You don't have to do a lot of background work for the system to run this particular program. Okay, so that's about the portability. Then flexibility is, of course, if you are writing a program and if you're giving me or passing the same program to me, to the same program, I can add my own lines of code. Okay, so I can play around it. So that's about the portability. I'm sorry, flexibility. It is more flexible to add or to remove the statements. Okay, still the meaning remains the same. So interactive is the same. Okay, like it will become more interactive when you give the comments to it. Any simple C program, if you're giving more comments to it, it will be more meaningful. Okay, so that's about interactive. And next is modularity is nothing but you will have a big program. You can divide it into modules, means what? Minute particles, or you can call it as what is it? So like, if you have a train, you have got a lot of compartments, right? Each compartment is considered as a module. So if you put a lot of modules together, you get a train. Okay, so that could be an example for this. So modularity is nothing but you have got a big program. In order to write that program, you have a lot of minute functions, that is small functions you have got. When you combine all these functions together, you get a big program. Okay, so that's about the modularity. Then you have efficiency and effectiveness. It is up to you how efficiently you write the code and how it is effective. Okay, so these are basic features of C language. So next is about the uses. So in general, where do we use this C language in majorly? Okay, So they say that we have got applications as database systems for storing the informations. We use this. Then for the graphics, a lot of graphics we use the C language. Then word processes, of course, this Microsoft Word and a lot of the word processor packages you have. For that you can use, and spreadsheets you can use. That is for Excel sheets. You can use this. Okay, so these are the applications where C language is used majorly. Okay, we have lot other applications apart from this, but major applications is being discussed here. Okay, then next is we have got three types of languages. One is middle level language, second is high level language, and next is low level language. Okay, so among these three, which level does this belong to? Does C language belong to? So that belongs to the middle level language. Because if you have a consideration about low level language, this is going to be something which a mission is going to understand. Okay, so that we call it as a low level language. So it will be like a basic instruction set. So this is the key for it. So you will have some of the instructions where you will ask the system to do some tasks. You will ask the system to perform some tasks based on this instruction set. Okay. So these things are something which you have to know. Okay, so don't try to worry now itself. Don't try to think if you're not able to follow or if you're not able to remember all these things. It's not an issue, because I will share this particular document and the recordings with you guys so that you have got a good time. Like you have the next lab by next week, the same day, Thursday. So you have got a week's time. You can go through the video. You can go through this material as well, and you can also refer to all your internet resources, online resources. And all I want is I want you to have a clear understanding of what you are reading. Okay, just attending the classes is not going to be helpful. So then and there, I'm going to repeat this step, because you have to make sure you understand things. If you're not able to understand, you just receive the recordings and try to replay it so that you will have a clear understanding about what I'm trying to talk. Okay, because we have got a limited time. We just have 4 hours per week, so we have to cover the theory part as well as the programming. So it will be quite hectic, I agree, but there should be some extra effort from you guys also, so that it will be smoother one. Okay, the way will be very smoother. Okay. So low level language is something where the mission is going to directly understand. I'll give you a simple example for this basic instruction set. Okay, so it will be, we call it as assembler. So we will write some instructions like move A, B. Okay, then you can add A, B, and you can say move B. Okay, so see, this is very, very simple. So it's like you're asking the assembler level code you're writing. You're asking the machine to allocate memory space for 2 variables. Then you add it. Then you move the result to variable C. Okay, so this is for additional information I'm giving you to understand how computer is going to take up all the instructions which you gave, and it is going to work. Okay, so this is called as the assembly level language. Okay, so this is something different. It is called low level language because that is quite difficult to code. That's why it is called as low level language. So second type is high level language. This, most of you would have known about these 2 languages, right? That is Java and Python. These 2 comes as an example for the second category called high level language. So right from the term itself, you can easily understand that what it is. It is like already everything is available. Okay, it is being built in. Okay, so you can just read it from here. Almost everything the programmer has to do, it has been built into the language. So what your task is, what you have to do is you have to just use the syntax and you have to add few instructions for your requirement, and then you're done with it. Your task is over. Okay, so that comes under high level language. And third type is the middle level language, which falls between the high and low. So C programming comes under this particular category, that is middle level. So it's like middle level language. They don't provide all such inbuilt. It's like Python. It doesn't have all the inbuilt functionalities, but it does have few. Okay, and it gives you an privilege to work in between these two categories. That is, it is not very low level language to ask you to work with all these basic level instructions, and it is not high level language, like it doesn't give you most of the built-in functionalities, but it is in the middle. Okay, that's it. That's a simple understanding. So it will have predefined functionalities. Of course, it will have libraries. So all you have to do is you have to understand the syntax and the libraries, and you have to add your own examples or add your own instructions to perform your applications. Okay. Next is about structure. So for simple understanding, in the beginning of the class, I taught you what is structured language, structured oriented. So I gave you a simple example about the syntax. So here, a basic, a detailed explanation is given. So you have a large program. So that large program will be divided into small programs. Okay, so the small programs will be called as functions. When you put all these small programs together, that is the functions together, you will end up in a large program. Okay, so the primary focus will be given only to two things called functions and the procedures. Okay, so it's like what are the functions, what are the functionalities that has to be added, and what are the procedures, rather than on the data. Okay, you have got basically two types of language. One is structured oriented. Second type is, I'll ask you guys, what are the two types of languages? That is CS students. Let me ask them. Okay, Kartiban.
Ma'am?
Okay, what are the two types of languages in general?
I have no idea, ma'am.
After
a long leave.
Okay, Swati.
Object-oriented programming.
Very good, very good. Yes. So we do have two types of languages. One is structured and second type is object-oriented. Okay. So in your object-oriented, everything will be concentrated on data, that is on information. Okay. So the structured is different. You are not going to give more importance to the data, rather that is to your information. You are going to focus on the functions and the procedures. So that's about the structure. So around all these functions, you've got a lot of functions, right? So this particular data, it will freely move between the functions. Okay, so these things you have to just remember so that it will be easy for you to recollect it when you're writing the program. So this particular structure oriented, it is going to follow a structure called top-down approach. Means what? You will have a big program where you're going to divide it into a lot of smaller programs, that is smaller functions. Then together, when you combine, you get back the bigger one, so bigger picture. So that's about the top-down approach. So few of the examples are C. Of course, it comes under structured. Apart from the C, you have Pascal language, Algol, and Modular 2. All these things are different types of programming languages. So you please focus on this C. Okay, C. Of course, it comes under the structured-oriented language. Okay. So till this, we have covered a basic history about C, what it is. Okay, so three main key points, the summary you have to remember. One is C is a structured oriented, and it is being developed or invented by this Dennis Ritchie person, and it is belonging to middle level. And OS, variety of OS programs you can write. That is on Windows you can do it, Unix you can run, on Linux you can write. So all these are different operating system, OS we call it as, where this C language can be written. Okay, so that's it about the introduction part. So far, are you guys comfortable? Harishant. Harishant?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, give me your views. So far, are you clear with whatever has been taught?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then Jeffrey?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you're clear. Okay. Then Naren Ganapati.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, guys. So next we'll just move on. Okay, so second part is I want you guys to understand about what are the basics you have to know in order to write a simple C program. Okay, we'll start with a simple C, and then moving forward in upcoming weeks, we will concentrate on the rest of the things. So any of the C programs, okay, you should have these parts. That is towards your left, this column, it's going to focus on the basic commands which you have to use. And here you have got the explanation, okay? So very first line, you will have this hash include. So this is the first question for you. Make a note of it. I want you to know what it is, okay? So hash include within this angle bracket, okay? I'll just type and show how you have to do it. It is hash type include, and you have this angle bracket. This is called angle bracket. Within this greater and lower symbol, you have to type the header files. Okay, studio.h. You have two such header files. So your first question is, I wanted you to read about what this is and what is this stdio means. Okay, and you have got this another header files called hash include conio. So these two header files, please make a note of it. I want you to know what does it do and what is the abbreviation for this stdio and conio. Okay, so because I want you to read it and understand rather than me blabbering here with all the explanations. I don't know whether you're understanding or not. Okay, so these header files, okay, we call it as a pre-processor commands. Okay, which means like when the Dennis Ritchie was developing this language, he has given lot of libraries. Okay, you have got around I really don't know the count because they have given a lot of advanced libraries now. So you have got more libraries, okay, standard libraries like this stdio, conio, and then you have got math. You have math.h means what? From this term itself, you can clearly say you are going to include this header file in your program so that you can use any of the functions or functionalities which are being defined here. Say, for example, if you have to find the square root of a number, rather than writing a complete program for it, you can just use some inbuilt functionalities which is being defined in this header file. So if you are using this header file in your program, you can directly use a function called surtoff. Okay, this function you can use. Means what? This function called square root. Okay, it is being defined inside this math function. That is within this header file, it is already being defined. Okay, so like this, you have got lot of what is this header files. All right, stdio is basically used for standard input and output, and conio is used for. I'll ask one of you so that you know. Okay, the CS guys, Kirtini. Kirtini?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, tell me, Kana.
Conio, ma'am. Ma'am, I have no idea, ma'am. We use IO stream.
Okay. Saran?
Ma'am, I have also no idea, ma'am.
Saran?
Hello, ma'am. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Okay. Sai Pranav.
Sorry, ma'am. I have no idea.
Okay. Pavin then?
Sorry, ma'am, I have no idea.
Come on, guys. You guys said you're good in programming. You have to be knowing this, correct? It's about the console input and output. Okay. The meaning for it, I want you to read and know, because few students who said they are good in programming, they doesn't know what is it. Okay, it's just an header file. Okay, it's about the abbreviation is console input or output. Okay, so it's like a lot of inputs and outputs like printf, clear screen, all these things, especially your clear screen, CLR, SER. See, all these things might be like Greek and Latin terms for you, but as the classes are moving on, you will be clearly understanding what it is when you're using it in program. See, this particular function, how square root is one of the function defined inside this math header file. Similar to that, within this console input output, you have a functionality called clear screen. In your program, when you're using this clear screen function, what happens is each and every time when you're running your program, your output screen will have the will be having your outputs. It will be having your display messages. Each and every time when you run, it will be erased. Like how you write it in a blackboard, you erase it and you rewrite it again and again. Similarly, you can use your output screen. For that, you need this function called clear screen. To include this function, you should have this header file. Okay. Okay. So that's about the header files basically. In any of your C program, the basic header files which you will use will be these two. One is stdio, second is conio.h. Okay. Apart from this, you will have this math, and you have got a lot of other things, but I don't want to confuse you because since you are new to this, just stick on to these two header files basically, and get to know about what it does. So that is your first question. And Naren, I forgot your name. What's your name? Naren Rangaswamy.
Naren Rangaswamy.
Okay, Naren Rangaswamy, please make a note of the questions which I give you then and there, so that you can share your screenshot at the end. Okay.
Yes,
so the first question, yes, thanks, Naren. The first question is you have to go through and understand what these two header file does. Okay. So this is about the first thing. Second, you will have the main function. This is where within this you will have all your programming statements. So after your header file, you will have next as the main function. In your main function, you will have the first part as data type. Okay. It could be integer, it could be void. So integer means you're going to return something to the compiler. Void mean, if you're going it as void main, it means you're not going to return anything. You're just going to complete your task. Okay, just try to understand what is each and every term so that when you're writing the program, it will be easy for you to recollect. Okay, so from this particular line, your program execution begins. Okay, within this main function, the very first statement is the curly braces. Open curly braces you will have. This indicates that it is going to be the starting of the program, that is starting of the main function. Within this open parenthesis, open curly braces, and you will have a close curly braces within this close. Okay, within these two things, you are going to have a lot of programming statements, and then and there you can give some comments to it. Comments means if you're writing a hi, okay, you have to print as hi, hello world. If this is your message, if you wanted to print. So you can add a comment. You can say this statement is going to print, statement for printing. Okay. So every time when you're using a command, you have to use this backslash and star followed by a message. Then you have to close it with a star followed by the slash. Okay. And then you can have a number of statements, and you have a get ch, then return and close it. Printf statement is something which you are going to print on your screen. Okay, so the syntax for it is you will have a term called printf. I'll just show you here. So the keyword printf will be there. Within this parenthesis, you will have your own statements. See, generally the syntax is this. In C language, every statement, there's especially this predefined statements, you have to terminate it with this semicolon. Without the semicolon, your program will not run. It will show errors. So make a note of this minute things. Okay. So within this printf, you have to use double quotes. Within the double quotes, you can write any message. Hi, how are you? Whatever it is. Okay, if you're going to give explanation to your staff or to your friends about what this particular statement is, so you can use the slash command, slash line and star. Whatever you write here, it is not going to be considered by the compiler. Okay, I'll tell you what is compiler and all. For just now, understand how you write the printf statement and you have an explanation for it. So statement to print on the screen. Okay. So again, you have to close it using the star and slash. So this section is called as comment line, and this particular thing is going to be your print statement. Okay. All right. Next is you have this getch. So getch is nothing but you are going to wait for the user to give some input. Okay, like you can compile it and you can run the program. Two basic things you have to do. So you have to press some of the keys from the keyboard so that your compiler will get the input and then it will give you the output. Okay, so for that statement, just to get any of the character input from the keyboard, we use this getch. Getch is only getting the characters from the keyboard. Then you're going to return this 0. Because why do you use this return is you have mentioned the data type in the main function to be integer. Okay, if you're going to use it as integer, you have to return something. If you do not mention it as int, you can mention it as void. If you're using void main of, then you don't have to use this return statement at all. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll give you an explanation again because I don't know how many of you would have understood. Okay. See, a simple C programming language, it could be like this. The first two lines will be the header files. Okay, so stdio is going to be the standard input output. It is going to give you a lot of functionalities about how the inputs and outputs has to be given, has to be followed. What is the syntax for it? So everything will be given in your stdio.h, which I want you to read so that you will give some effort towards it and you will understand what it is more. Okay. So Konya is going to be the console. So it is going to take care about clearing your screens, output screen. So these two are going to be your header files. The very first execution where your program begins is with this main function, main of, it starts. This particular first part, it can be void main. Void means nothing. You're not going to return anything. You're just going to do your task. Okay. It could be either void or it could be int. Two types are there. All right. So for now, I will not confuse you. So that for simple understanding, I will just write it as void main. Means you have to perform some task. You don't have to return anything to the compiler. Okay. So with this open parenthesis, the program begins. So this one called as comment section. Okay. So this backslash star ended with the star and this backslash. So this statements, anything you can give, which is going to be a meaningful statement. You are going to tell your friend or yourself what the next line is going to do. Okay. Or you can just add this here next to the statement so that you can have an explanation about this particular statement. So the printf, okay, it is going to be one of the function. And within the parentheses, you have to use the quotations and give your message, end it with the semicolon. Then finally, you should give getch to get out of the keyboard, that is out of the current screen and to the output screen. And at last, you give as CLR SCR, that is clear screen. Since you have used the conio.h, use this clear screen so that your screen will be clear after running the program. Return 0, I am just taking it out because I have mentioned the main function to be void. Okay. That's it. So this is a simple program where it includes the header files. It has got one main function. It is going to print a simple statement. Okay. So far, if anybody has got any doubts, please, you can ask. Yes. Jiva.
Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. No doubt, ma'am.
No doubt. You're clear.
Yes, ma'am.
What about Kali Muttu?
Ma'am, I'm clear, ma'am.
Clear. Okay, very good. Okay, then the last guy, Naveen. Hi, Naveen.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you clear so far?
Yeah, ma'am, I'm clear.
Okay, fine. So this is about a simple program. Okay, we'll just close this. We'll get into the document. Okay. So after you write the program, okay, in general, you have to remember and use these 4 steps. One is you have to create a program. Next, you have to compile. Create is nothing but we have just returned. I mean, we have just typed this program, right? Say, for example, you have this program. You're done with this. So you have created your program now. The next, what I have to do, I have to compile. Okay. So I have to compile using this key. Just make a note of it. Alt F9. It's going to be the keyword or the keys which you have to use for compiling. See, this is the traditional way of running your program. Okay. So since most of you, Naren, how many of you them are using mobile phone? Naren? Yes. How many are using mobile phone?
Just a minute, ma'am.
Okay. You were listening?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
It's okay. You just count. Okay.
I took it in an Excel sheet, ma'am.
Okay. Give me a count.
Yes, ma'am. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Until now, 27 people are using mobile phone.
20?
27 people, ma'am. Some didn't give their response, ma'am.
Okay. So guys, you have to reply with whether you're using laptop or mobile phone so that we will have an understanding about the requirement. Like, should we give any online compiler tool or should we ask you to install it in your system? So that is the basic need behind this question. Okay. So as of Naren has said, 27 are using mobile phone. So rest of you, okay. So I'll give you idea about 2 perspectives. One is for those of the students who are using it in laptop, I will teach you how to install the software. Second, for the students who are using the mobile phone, you can use the online compiler. So for the faculties, when you're showing the programs, if you're using it in laptop, it is well and good. You stick on to the traditional softwares, Turbo C++, or you can use code blocks. So I will teach you that. So students who are using laptops, you have to install the software, okay, so that you will have a good practice of doing everything on the traditional softwares. For the students who are using it in the mobile phones, okay, I will teach you how to do the programs on the online compiler. I will give you an just a glimpse shot about a particular usage of the tool online, that is on your mobile phone. So you have to stick on to this particular applications that is on mobile phone and make sure you use it to show the outputs to the faculties. Okay. So in general, you have to create the programs. Getting back to it, you have to compile. So this Alt F9 is some instructions or the keywords which has to be done for the student who are using it in laptop. Okay, because after installing the software, you will type the program. After typing the program, you have to know whether it is written correctly or it has got any errors. For that purpose, you have to use the command called Alt F9. Alt, you press keyword called Alt, and F9 will be there in the top row, okay, of your keypad. And To to execute or run, you have to press the key called Control, CTRL, some Control F9. That will be there for running the program, and finally you will be getting the output in the console screen. Okay, so these are the basic commands you have to remember. And this is about execution of C program. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. You have to either install the compiler on your machine, or you can run on online mode. Online compiler you can use. Okay, so the environment, to get into the C environment, that is to install it in your laptop. You have to listen to this very carefully, because if you are going to return back to college, you are going to work on the systems which are available on the lab sessions, that is towards the lab. So make sure you listen to this very well. Even now, if you are using it in mobile phone, forever you're not going to use that. If you're getting back to college, you have to stick on to the system. So you have to know how things works. So first thing about the environment setup is nothing but how you're going to install it. I think Naren has not unmuted his mic. Naren, please mute your mic.
Sorry, ma'am.
Yeah. The very first step is you should know what is C compiler. What are the list of compilers available? How do you install it? And what is the list of compiler for particular Unix operating system? So these things we will just have for the next few minutes for discussion. So you have got the programming languages as C and C++ as basic languages. For guys, just hold on. I'm getting a call from HOD. 1 second. Okay, I'm sorry, I just got a call from HOD. Okay, so basically you have got the two programming languages as the low-level languages, that is the basic languages, that is you have got C and C++. In order to run these programs, you need something called compilers. Okay, so we have an integrated version of both C and C++. We have got a lot of development environments. So the one which is the traditional is Turbo C++. Please make a note of this along. Turbo C++. So this software is the traditional software where we run both C programs and C++ programs. Apart from this, you have got Borland and Dave. So this alone, if you concentrate on, it will be more than enough. Okay. So you have to install this software called Turbo C++. You can just Google it and you can install it. I will show you how to install. Okay, so in this particular IDE, we have the name as IDE, that is Integrated Development Environment, because whatever you write as a code, as a program, it is going to be in English language, correct? So that language has to be converted into machine understandable one, because your system is going to understand all information in binaries, that is zeros and ones. It is not going to understand anything which you write in English language. So you need an environment where you have an integrated version. You have got an interaction between yourself and your system. So you have a requirement to execute a particular task, so that you're writing 10 lines or 5 lines of code. So that particular 5 lines of code has to be understood by the machine, and it has to be executed, and accordingly your output has to be received. To do all these things, you need an IDE, that is an integrated development environment. Okay, so that IDE you can use as Turbo C++. Just for understanding and to run the program, we need an environment, right? So to give you more simpler explanation, it could be like these lines of codes I've just written here, right? I've just typed it here in my Word document. So you don't have any usage, right? Like I am writing it here. How do I run it? I don't know how to do it, because I am doing it in the wrong platform, correct? I'm just typing these lines and I have done it very accurately, but all these lines are there in a place where it shouldn't be, correct? It is there in Word document. Okay, so my Word document is not going to help me to compile, neither run or compile the program. So what I have to do is I have to be in the right platform to execute all these things. So that is the reason why we are dependent on this IDE that is called as Integrated Development Environment. Okay, so I hope you would have got an idea about what this IDE is. Okay, so now we'll get into compiler. Compiler is very simple. It is in a particular part, okay, where it is going to completely convert the code which we write, that is in English language, it has to be converted into zeros and ones. So this task is being called as compilation. And this process called compilation has been carried over by compiler. Okay, to be more precise, say for example, you have a term called hello. You have typed this term in a program, hello. So this particular word called hello is not going to be understood as hello by the computer, right? So we have to give the information to the computer in the format of zeros and ones, correct? So to do this, if I ask you guys to write this hello in zeros and ones, I don't know how many of you will be able to do it, correct? Because we don't know what is the combination for H. Each and every character will have a combination of zeros and ones. We do not know how to write that, correct? We are taught with English language and we are taught with our mother tongue. Apart from this, few might be knowing German, few might be knowing Spanish, extra languages, but we do not know how to write all the information in zeros and ones, correct? Your mobile phone, you are using smartphones, you have got a lot of features in the mobile phone. You are expecting your mobile phone to attend the class now, and at the same time you switch between the WhatsApp group, you switch between the Facebook tab in the browser, you switch between the email, you check it and you get back to this class. I don't know how many are sincerely listening there. So a simple mobile phone, smartphone, you are expecting it to execute all these operations, correct? You are thinking, you are not even talking to it. You are just thinking that, okay, I am listening to this class. I don't want to listen for a few more minutes. Let me switch to WhatsApp. You're just thinking and you're doing it. You're executing it. So how is this execution happens, correct? So just with a few clicks of movements in your mobile phone, you're able to do all these tasks. So everything is getting converted into zeros and ones even in your mobile phone. So I think you are understanding what I'm trying to say, right? So whatever information you have to communicate with the computer, you just write it in your language, which you understand, and you are expecting the computer to understand what it is. So that particular conversion, it has to be done where every character in this word, example for H, E, L, L, O, each and every character has got a conversion, a representation of zeros and ones, and this conversion will be done only by a compiler. Okay, so all these things is going to be stored in your processors, that is CPUs. Don't break your heads now. I just wanted you guys to understand what it is. CPU is something, central processing unit, which is available in your system, that is in your laptop or in your PCs. You have got this. So all these conversions will be done there, okay, by the compiler. So to be more clear, everything will be converted from alphabets into zeros and ones, and computer will understand the zeros and ones information which you do during the compilation. And the output, again, it will be in this exe file format. Okay, that is after compiling, after running the program, you will have a format of file in .exe file. Then what happens is this will be processed by the processor. Okay, it will be executed, and the output will again be converted from zeros and ones to English language for you to understand, and then it will be displayed on the screen, that is on the output window. Okay, so far, are you guys clear with all these informations? Yes, yes, no, so that we can repeat or we can do some alternate for it. Ashwant?
Yes, ma'am. புரியுது ma'am.
Okay, Gokul? Gokul Krishna? I think it's not there. Harishant? Janani?
Yes, ma'am. Puri.
Okay. Janani?
Oh, yeah, ma'am. I can understand.
Okay. All right. So next is the list of compilers. See, this is an additional information for you guys because we are going to use Turbo C++. These are other compilers which is available. Okay. So don't break your head with all these things. It's just an additional information for you to know. You have got AMPC, then have got CCS. CH is again a compiler. Then have CLang is a compiler. Then all these things are additional compilers, but we are going to stick on to Turbo C++. Okay, so that's about the list of compilers. So now for laptop, how do you install this C++? So you have to download this Turbo C++. Okay, so in this, just type Turbo C++. Okay, you have got a lot of sites available. Okay, a lot of sites are available for you to download. The most easiest thing is download in Softonic. Okay, so in the second click on this link, just Google it. You have a lot of sites, but the Softonic, it'll be more simple for you to install. Okay, let's get exploring. Okay, so here you can choose your platform. Either it is Android, Mac is your Apple laptop or iPhone, or normal things, normal other apps, wherever you have to download. You can just click on it. And you have got a lot of apps here. Okay. So you can just click on this download tab. I'm already have installed it, so I don't want to do it again. You can install this download tab and you can have the copy of this Turbo C++ in your system. Okay. Just show you the steps because it's taking a lot of time to load. Okay. So you have to just Google it with the Turbo C++ term. Once you are done with it, you will be a downloaded directory will be there. So in this directory, you have to copy the you have to create a directory in C drive. You will have D, C, E, lot of drives in your PC or in your laptop. In your C drive, please create a directory named Turbo C. Okay. Then after your file is getting downloaded, it will be in the zip file format. Okay. In that you will find, you just unzip it, extract it and unzip it. And then you will find an exe file. Just click on it, you will get installation done. Okay. Then after done, you just have to locate it in this directory. It is very simple. In your C directory, okay, that is in your C drive. In the TC, you have to just include in the bin. Okay. Very simple thing is just go to the Google, download this. Once it is downloaded, it will be easy for you to install because you're going to just create a simple directory and you're going to execute the file. That's all. How it will look like. So I just wanted to show you that because to give you a clear understanding. The first step is you will download it from Google. Second step is in your own laptop in C drive, you will create a directory called Turbo C. Okay, then you will extract the file, zip file, which has been downloaded into this particular directory. Once you have extracted it, the first image will be this. That is the first step will be this one. It will look like this. Okay, within this Turbo C, you will have a command called install. Just click on that install application, this one. Okay. Once you're done with the install application, the next is these steps will be followed automatically. You don't have to do anything. These images will be there, will be followed. Here, it will ask you to choose the directory, source directory. So if you have already created inside the C drive, so here you can choose it as C. Okay. The next, you can just press enter, and then you go to the next one. Here you can see here the source part, it is Turbo C, it is already there. You don't have to worry, everything will be automatically done. You don't have to do any extra thing. You have this tab called start installation, just click on it. Okay, then it's been done. You have read file. If you have to open it, you can get back to this location. In this C drive, you have the TC folder. Inside that, you will have a bin folder. In the bin folder, click on this TC application. Very simple. I will share this particular document with you so that you can go through it. So once you are done with it, this particular ID will be opened. Okay. So in this space, you have to type the code. You will click this file and you will have a command called new. Click on the new command. And once it has been opened, first thing is you have to save it. Okay, so you will click on this file and you will have an option called save. So give a name to the program. Have an habit to save then and there. Okay, so you just save it in your what is it? The particular file. You have to give a name. Give it as example.c or whatever name. .c extension you have to give. Okay, so this is about the simple installation for the laptops. Okay, so with respect to mobile phones, for those who are using mobile phones, I'll show you how to do it. So this laptop stuff, have you understood, guys? Those who have said it is about the laptop. Gopi Krishnan? Gopi Krishnan?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you understood how to install it?
Ma'am, I can't hear it.
Have you understood?
Ma'am?
Can you hear me?
Ma'am, it's breaking.
Okay, I just asked you the question. Have you understood how to install it?
Ma'am, it's breaking, ma'am. I can't hear.
Okay, thank you. Next one. Sujit Prasanna. Sujit.
Ma'am? Ma'am, am I audible to you, ma'am?
Yeah.
Somewhat I understood, ma'am.
Somewhat you understood. Okay.
Yes.
That is this installation step, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Sujit, my question is, somewhat you have understood only this part, or right from the beginning you didn't understand?
From this part, ma'am.
This
Installing.
installation. Okay. Then,
Yes, ma'am.
okay. Then Vikash.
Ma'am, I'm here, ma'am.
Yes. Have you understood?
Ma'am, somewhat I understood, ma'am, but not fully I understood.
Okay, I think the installation you didn't understand. Okay. So what I will do is, yes, tell me, Vikash.
Ma'am, no, I didn't understand the installation things.
Installation you didn't understand. Okay.
No.
Vijay Kirti.
Yes, ma'am. Installing.
Installation you didn't understand. All right. All right. Okay. So for this class, what you do is, I will give you an option of this REPL. One second. Okay. See, this REPL is an open source software. One second. I'll type it in the chat box so that you guys can have a look at it. So for this class, what you do is, both the students who are using it in mobile phone and for the students who are using it in laptop, okay, you use this REPL software, that is online compiler, and you can show the outputs for today's class. And from next week onwards, for students who are using it in mobile phones, you can stick on to the same same compiler called REPL, And for the rest of the students who are using it in laptop, you give me your feedback by next week. If you are comfortable with the same compiler, online compiler, or if you want to go for the installation. Okay, so depending on that, I will again teach you in the next class. So Naren, make a note of this also, so that I will remember to ask. All right. Okay, so with respect to this REPL, I'll just show you what has to be done. Just Google it, REPL. Okay, the very first tab it opens, it is an online ID. So this is how it looks like. Okay, so here, since I have already created, it shows with my name. Okay, but for you guys, I will just show you how it works. Naren, what is your college Gmail, I mean, CIT ID?
20c26@cit.edu.in.
Sorry,
20.
just type it in the chat box.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I have sent it in my chat.
Okay, this one is it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, 1 second. I'll just log out from this. Okay, just go to Google. Okay, now you type REPL. So in this link, click on it. You will have this as a first page. You will be redirected to this page. This is about the online compiler. Okay, you have got a lot of the features here. You can use it for any languages. Okay, you have got this compiler for all the languages as a combination, but for you guys to use it as a C. So first step is you go for start coding. So it asks for sign up. So you guys, what you do is, already you will be having this Google, what is it? Google accounts you will be having, right? So you click on that and you can just sign it up. Or here I'll give it as Naren. Naren's ID. And Naren, what's your password? Type it in your chat box. Later you can change.
Gmail ID password or?
Yeah, the CIT ID password.
Yes,
CIT.in. Just type it here. Okay, he has given his password. Okay. So this is how everybody has to do in this. We just sign up. Okay. So now it says, hi Naren, let's get started. It will ask few questions for you. Okay, what's your new skill level? If Naren says he is brand new, few guys are brand new because you're from biology, so you can give brand new. Just give few things, okay, like what are you interested in? It is learning. If you're not interested in giving this, you can just skip it. So this is important. What languages are you primarily interested? So we are going into C. That's it. So that your Naren has been created. So now you have created the C language also. So you can go to the home. Okay, so verification has to be done. So Naren, you will be receiving an email. So this is how basically things will work. So once you're getting into this particular, what is this screen, your verification email will be given. So you can click from the verification link and you can confirm the stuff. Okay. So now it will ask for create RPL. Since I have to do CLang, I'm clicking on C language. That's all. So it will show you a beautiful IDE here. So you can just type on your programs and you can run. Okay, so this is how you have to do. So now once it is loaded, you will have the basic syntax. Okay, so this is a basic program which already by default it shows. Okay, so as we discussed, a header file will be there. Then you will have the main function. Here you can have just print main off. Then you're just printing hello world. So Naren space hello world. Then I just return. So this is the place where you type your program. Okay, then you just run here. When you run, your print statement is printed here. This is the output. So the statement is Naren says hello world. It is getting printed here. Okay, so this is how you do type your programs and you just show the outputs to your faculties when they check the outputs, or to yourself when you run your code. You have to know what happens here. Okay, so if, for example, I just forgot to give the termination symbol here, that is the semicolon. I just try to run. So here I get an error, right? It says one error is generated because I have not included the semicolon. So beautifully, it gives you an explanation here. The error is there and what error it is. It shows here. Okay. So how do you know an error is there? How do you know which line the error is shown? So to understand that, you can just have a reference here. Main.c is the name of the place where you are coding now. So this is the place, right? Main.c. And the error has occurred in line number 4. So this is the line number 4. You have an error here. What is the error? Expected the semicolon after the expression. Means what? It clearly says that you have not used the semicolon here. Okay. So now you added it and run for it. You are getting an output. Okay. And say, for example, now I don't use a return statement. Okay. I take it out. I have only these basic statements. I run the program. Okay. Still it works because I don't have any computations. I don't have any calculations here. And if I just use simple void main, see, you're getting errors here. Okay, because it is asking for either you have to return or not. Okay, so don't get too much of confused. Okay, just stay on to the default program here. So that as of now, if you understood the basics, it will be fine. You're getting the output. All right. So with this particular online IDE, are you guys clear with it? How you have to run the program? How you have to type the program? Let me ask. Yes, Harishant?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now tell me, is it clear for you now?
Little bit clear, ma'am, but half.
Okay, like which part you're not clear? Yes?
Ma'am, that is.
Yes, tell me. Only then we can see what actions must be taken, right? Yes. Harishant? Okay, let me ask Jiva.
Yes, ma'am, clear, ma'am.
You're clear. Okay. Kalimuthu?
I understood, ma'am.
Thank you, Kana. Okay, then Nandini V.
மேம் அந்த வாய்டு சொன்னீங்களா மேம் அது புரியல மேம்.
ஓகே தட் இஸ் இல்ல எனக்கு இப்பவே உங்களுக்கு கன்ஃபியூஸ் பண்ண வேண்டாம் தான் நான் பெருசா சொல்லல because just with the installation few students they are not understanding, right? So don't worry with the void and int, Nandini. That is not a big issue. I will repeat it again. Okay. But
Okay,
apart from that, you're comfortable with getting into this compiler and
yes,
all these
ma'am.
right? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then Vinod.
Yes, ma'am, it is clear. I can understand.
Okay. Yes. Sweta?
Yes, ma'am, it's clear, ma'am.
It's clear. Okay. So I think most of you have understood it. And Sai Pranav?
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Clear. Okay, fine. So this is how you do all these typing part. It will be done here. And execution, once you run, you will have an explanation about your output or how you get the errors. You can view it. Okay. So apart from this, you have got a lot of other features here. Okay, you have the versions, you have the database and settings. All these things at the very first step, don't get into all these things. Okay, because as long as you keep your things very simple, it is always beautiful. Okay, rather than getting too much of information, you just keep it very simple. It is very explanatory. Okay, and we'll just continue with the explanations. And once again, I forgot your name, Kana. Someone said it's still not clear, right? Harishant, correct? Okay, Harishant, what you do is after the class, I will share this particular presentation, the recording, so that you can go through it again. All right. And I will also, if not possible to share the recording, I will also share the document, okay, which I'm using to explain you. So the step is clearly written there. So you can use that to execute things. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thanks, ma'am.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, then we are just left with half an hour. I don't know how far we can complete. Okay. So next is about the structure of a C program. So in general, you will have a lot of sections in the C program. First, you will have this document, then you have link section, definition, then global declaration, then main prototype function. So for this first class, you forget about all this because don't get too much confused. We'll just move on with the basics first. So very first thing which you have to understand in C programming languages, the data types. As Nandini was questioning me, what is integer, what is this void? Okay, so for that, and to answer that question, it all falls into a fold called data type. Okay, so you have this term called data type in C programming. You use it for storing the data. Okay, for example, you have your grade sheet or report card. Okay, you have got more details there. You have got the name of the student, you have got the marks code. Marks could be 90.9 or it could be 80.9 or it could be 0 or it could be 100 out of 100. It's a combination of integer and it's at the same time 90.9 that comes in decimal form. So the numbers as a human readable, we can just call it as a simple integer or a number. But for the computer to understand, you have two parts in number itself, right? If it is going to be 90, it is an integer. If it is going to be 90.5, 0.5, it is important, right? Because most of you have lost your cutoff. So 90.5 means it is decimal. Okay, so that we call it as float in computer. Okay. So you have got a lot of combination of data, variety of data is there, right? In your simple report card, you have got the name of the student, you have got the marks, then you have the average, and then finally you will have the overall grade. So that grade is going to be A, B, C, D, 4 types of grade. So A is a character, B is a character. So you have got basic combination of variety of information in a particular report card. So this is a simple explanation for you guys to understand about what data type is. So in C programming, you have got few types of data types, basically 4. First is the basic data types. Okay, so these are the varieties which are there within this basic. So it could be an integer, it could be character or float or double. Okay, this double is nothing but a normal number like integer number. If it has to be a longer one, say for example, 3 trillion. Okay, somebody's economy or somebody's earnings, it could be 3 trillion. Sundar Pichai is earning around 3 trillion, right, per year. So if you have to represent that salary in 3 trillion as zeros and number, it's a big number, right? So that numbers, huge range of numbers could be represented in double. Float is nothing but the decimal values, like as I said, 90.5. So those things could be represented in float. Character is nothing but like grade, a single character, single alphabetical characters could be represented. and integer is a normal numbers. Okay, so for the basic thing, you have to concentrate very much into these 4 basic data types. Okay, and apart from this basic, you have got enumeration data type, then derived, and then void. So for last one is this void. Void data type is simple. It is not going to do anything. Like you're going to perform your task and you're going to not return any of your statements to the compiler. Void means empty. You're not going to perform any task. So it is a type of data type. So these 2 things you have to concentrate right from this class to upcoming 2-3 classes. And later you will have this, I think in your syllabus you don't have this kingdom. So these things you will be focusing on in the upcoming classes. Okay, so as of now, you should know what is data type. So basically, your data type is used for storage purpose. Variety of data are there. You have to tell the compiler like each and every data which particular type it falls into. So you have to make clear note into the compiler. So for that purpose, you make use of this C data types. And in C language, you have got 4 basic types. One is the basic data types, that is integer, character, float, and double. Apart from this, you have got enum, derived, and void. Okay, don't worry about the second one because it's not there in your syllabus. It's for additional information. And this derived, you will be focusing in the upcoming classes. Okay, so these things alone, these 2, that is basic and void, you have to remember. Now, I'll just give you an idea about what this basic data types, that is 4 types are. Okay, integer is nothing but the numeric values. As I said in your report card, your marks will be the integer if it is not having any decimal values, like 100 out of 100, 90 out of 100. So those numbers, the numerical values will be the integer data type. Okay, so if you are going to write this integer data type in your program, you should have the keyword called int. Int keyword has to be used, okay, to represent this integer data type. So the storage, how much space it will occupy, everything will be in terms of space, correct? If you are using your mobile phone, you look into your phone and you give preference or importance to the RAM, correct? Phone, when you're getting it for the first time, you will look into the space, how much space it requires, excluding the memory card, that is our option. So if you are using iPhone, you will obviously go for the space because you don't have an external memory card features. Just for mobile phone itself, we give a lot of importance to space, right? So the space and size, it matters a lot. And in these basic data types, we do have importance for this storage space or the size. So for the integers, it could be around 2 or 4 or 8 bytes. Everything is about bytes and bits. We just have to remember what is the value it takes. It just takes 2 bytes or 4 bytes or 8 bytes. Okay. So this bytes and all, you have to just know about what it is. Okay, it is just the way you represent the information in the computer. So if you are more interested in knowing about it, you can just Google it and know it. Okay, it's very simple. Everything will be stored in zeros and ones. Those things you call it as bits, and the formation of collection of bits you call it as bytes. Okay, these things are computer terms. Okay, so integer, it is going to take as I said, it is going to take 2 or 4, and the range it follows is between these numbers. Say for example, if my salary is 55,000, okay, I can represent my salary within this range because it doesn't fall into this. It has got between representing the values from minus to plus. Okay, at times it will not be supported, but if it's 55, look at the range here, it will directly get supported. Okay, so integer, using integer, I can represent my salary. If I have to represent the salary of Sundar Pichai, okay, it is 3 trillion. So what will I do? I do not have an option to store or store or use the integer data type. Rather, I have to use the double, because the double data types range is going to be very high. It will be more than this. It is very simple. Okay, so it's everything about the basic data types is integer. Integer is going to take up the storage space as 2, 4, or 8 bytes, and these will be the range for it. Okay, so if you have to use the longer values, you have to use the double. And if you have to use the decimal values, you have to use the float data type. That's all. It's very simple. Next is a character data type. So this character data type, it is nothing but your each and every characters. So in your report card example, the final marks after getting into the average, you will be given a grade. So that particular grade, it could be A, B, C, or D. So each and every grade will be having in a character representation. So that will be called as character data type. Where the storage space, as we discussed with integer, this character is just going to take 1 byte. Okay. So with respect to the integers, you had the data type as int, right? You have to represent it with the keyword called int. Similarly, with respect to the character data type, you have the keyword called char. This is called as character. Okay. So if you have a character called A, you can use this character data type to read it or to print it. Then you have something called as strings. That is quite advanced topic. So that we'll be looking into upcoming classes. So as of now, you have to know about what is characters and what is integer. Next in the float, you have got these two types. That is, you have got simple float and then you have got the double. Its range is very huge. So if you just, what is it, double, the range it is 1 exponential to the power of minus 37 to 1 exponential to the power of plus 37. It is huge. You can represent even trillions or billions of values here. And float is simple. What is it? A combination of integer and decimal. So decimal values will be there for the float. Okay. So keyword is float and double. So that's about your basic data types. Next, you should know about this printf and scanf. I just told you what is this printf, right? So basically, this printf is simple statement. Here I have discussed. So this is a simple statement where it is used to tell the compiler to just blindly print whatever is given within this statement. So that is for displaying purpose, you use this printf. So in general, this printf, and you have another function called scanf. Okay, so these two functions, they are predefined, and all the tasks which it has to be done by this functions is being included in stdio.h. Okay, which means if you use your program, if you write your program without this header file stdio.h, okay, and if you are trying to run this program, okay, you will not be able to do it. All right, because the explanation for this printf function is written inside this particular header file. Okay, so that is the reason we have to include this header file called stdio in all the functions, or in all your C programs. So what is the task this printf does is it will just print whatever statements you mention within this what is this parenthesis, and if you have to return some, I mean, if you have to print some of the values, you have to use the data types for it. Okay, so as far as now, we have discussed 4 types of data. One is about integer. So for integer, you have something called the format specifiers. Okay, so format specifier is nothing but with the percentage, you will use the characters. Okay, for integer, you will have %d. For character, you will have %c. And for float, you have f. And for string, you have s. And for double, you have lf. And hexadecimal, it's x. And if you have a requirement to use new lines, you have to, that is 1 by 1 over without overlapping in a single statement. If you have to print it in 1 by 1 line, I mean next line, you have to use this /n, okay, in the printf statement. So I'll just show you an example so that you'll understand what am I blabbering now. Okay, one second. So this is about the example. See, so header file is there. Only when you mention this particular header file stdio.h, you will be allowed to use the functions called printf and scanf. Okay, so in this particular program, in main function, a few things are just initialized. Like I have used the basic data type as character, and I have given a name. This is a variable I can use. So the variable is given, and I have initialized it to be a. Okay, then second is the data type is float. I have used a variable. It could be anything. The variable name is your option. You can use anything here. Float value is assigned here. And third is the integer. It is the data type is integer. The name is given and the value is given here. Similarly, double. So these 4 are the basic data types which I was talking about now. So I have just initialized the values. And in the printf statement, what I have done is in the very first basic program in this, directly I have just printed this value. I mean, whatever statement is given within this parenthesis, we have printed. But in this printf statement, we have to use the character as %c, because from this, what is this? From this character data variable called ch, I have to print the value called a. Okay, so from where should I print? The ch is a variable which is going to hold the value a. So from the ch, I have to print the value. So I have used it here. Okay, this is simple syntaxes. Then and there, when you're using it, you will get used to it. Okay, so just trying to understand what I'm trying to teach you, so that it will be easy for you to practice hands-on. Okay. Second thing is, since it is a character, format specifier has to be %c. The next is, if I have to print this value, from where should I print? From the variable called FLT, I have to print. So I have mentioned it here. And what is the format specifier for float is %f. So I use it here. And last one is going to be integer. It is going to be stored in the variable called no, right? The number. So from there, I have to print, and how I have to print is the format will be %c. So basically, why do you use this format specifiers %c, f, and d is whatever you have the value, whatever values are getting stored in these variables, it will be stored in an address. Okay, like we all 60 people, we are living in various places. How do I reach, how do I send a particular parcel to each and every one of you? So a simple thing is, I will just courier it with your correct address, right? So your address is going to be unique. So out of 60 is going to have 60 individual students will have individual addresses which are unique. And when I'm sending the parcel through courier, it will directly reach, if it is Naren is going to have an address. Okay, so in my courier box, in the front page, I'm going to mention it as to Naren, followed by I will have the address. Correct. So the Naren is going to be the variable. To whom? That is going to be the variable, like this. That is from where we have to take it. And next, the format specifiers will act as the address, unique address. So this place it will be stored. That is, you're going to access it. So that will be the simple explanation for this. Okay. So, and finally, since I have used it as int main, I have to return 0 and then I have to close it. So for this program, these 3 print statements is going to give me some output. One is, it is going to print as character is. In your printf, you will be looking into this value. Instead of format specifier, the value which has been stored in this variable is getting replaced. Understood? Character is ch. Instead of ch, the value is a, correct? So a will be displayed. And next is float value is from FLT, this particular value will be replaced. See, this is the output. It is replaced. And similarly, integer value. Okay. See, this program, once I send it to you, you try to execute and see. Only then you will understand, how when you're doing it in hands-on, you will understand a lot more than we discussed now. Okay. So I'll just move on to the next one because it's getting late. Once again. So this particular program which we have focused on now is to explain about printf statement. Next, we'll look into the scanf. So scanf, you have to include again this header file called stdio.h. And why do we use this scanf is very simple. To print something, you are using printf. Scanf is to read any of the characters, anything, any input from your keyboard basically. From your keyboard, if you're going to give inputs to the program, to the compiler, to the machine, then you have to use this function called scanf. Okay. So this example, you can clearly understand what I'm trying to tell you. See, header file I have used, then I have the main function. In this main function, I have used an initial declaration of a character ch. Okay. In the print statement, I'm asking the user to enter any character. And in the scanf statement, it's very simple. The syntax for scanf, it could be the term scanf, that is the key term. It has to be there within this parenthesis. Within double quotes, you have to use the format specifier. Okay. So since for this particular program, it is character only, alone character I have just declared, right? So you can give %c, comma, Ampersand should be there. Ampersand, you have to remember. See, these things are the basics. It is the syntax. It's like, how do I say? In mathematics, if you have to add two numbers, okay, how do you do it? You have to use the plus symbol, right? You cannot use any other symbol like minus or multiply symbol to perform addition. Similarly, all these things, the scanf, printf, all these statements are predefined statements. It has got the syntax. You have to know what is the syntax and you have to use it accordingly. Okay, so it is like, see, if someone is writing scanf, and you should have the format specifier, so %C, and comma, if I don't use this ampersand, every time in scanf statement you should have ampersand. If I don't use ampersand there, if I just give ch, try this and see, you will not get the output. Okay, because the meaning for this ampersand is the scanf statement is going to store whatever keyword I'm going to give it from a keyboard, right? So that has to be stored in this particular location. That is the meaning. Okay, ampersand means it is the address. That is the general meaning. So whatever variable you use here, you have to represent it with ampersand. Okay, that is the explanation for this program. So you are asking the user to enter any character, then you're just reading it, you're scanning it, and again you're printing the character. That's all. When you print, from where you have to print, that has to be specified, mentioned here. Okay, ch, and which character the format specified has to be mentioned. Okay, so the output could be user can enter any of the character and the same character will be returned here. All right, so this is about printf and scanf statements. So I think it's already 11. Okay, what you will do is, with respect to the printf and scanf, two functions you have got, and make sure you use this header file called stdio in your program, only then it will work. And everything is syntax oriented, so you have to do a lot of hands-on, only then you will know where you're going wrong. See, even minute thing, if you're missing this ampersand symbols, if you're missing the semicolons, your program will not run. Okay, so very minute things you have to focus on. Okay, one that all these things will come only when you practice. Just by listening to the classes, or just by listening to various lectures, you will not understand. You have to do everything in hands-on. And please do remember, all the syntaxes, okay, they are case sensitive, so you cannot just change the variable names. Say for example, in a program, if I have the declaration, here I have the character ch. If I here I have used, instead of small h, if I have used ch, and in the reading part, if I have used ampersand ch, and here if I use ch, there is a variation, right? It is case sensitive. So if you are playing around with the variables, it will not run. Okay, so that you have to remember. Everything is case sensitive. If you everything should be in smaller case letters, lower case letters, that you remember, so that it will be easy for you to understand. Okay. So with this, I will stop the class. Okay. The next tokens and variables, all these things, don't worry, I'll teach in the next class. So for today's class, what you do is, the task is, I'll show you these things so that you can try it in your system. Okay. Few other basic programs, it could be hello world, we have just typed it, correct? Header file, main function, you have used the printf statement and you have returned it. Next, you are going to print an integer. So to print an integer, what you do is, you are just declaring the variable called int number. You're going to enter using the printf statement, you're asking the user to enter it. And the scanf, see, your scanf statement can be used to read the integer. That is, integer is taking the format specifier as %d, as we discussed, and ampersand should be there. Since I have used the variable name as number, directly I can use this number here, and I'm going to print it. You have entered this %d and number. Okay, so return 0. So this is a very simple program which talks about printing an integer. Okay, so the output could be, you're entering an input as 25 and it shows what number you have entered. Next, to add two integers. Again, here I'm going to use number 1, number 2, and sum. Okay, so 2 integers has to be entered in format specifier %d and %d. We read 2 numbers. And the third variable called the sum is going to store these 2 numbers, number 1 and number 2. You're going to add it. Okay. And how do I get the result? Since you have already added here you can just use the statement called printf %d, comma. Sorry, everything should be in small case. Okay. Sum. Use this instead of this. This is quite confusing for you guys. It could be confusing. So if you just use printf, okay, sum, then it has to work. Okay, so this is about adding 2 integers. And this is about integers 12 and 11. If I enter, the output is going to be 23. Okay. So for today, these examples I will share it with you. You try. Okay. So for today's assignment, the very first task is, I'll write it here, create REPL account and try to run the programs which I have taught you, which I'll be sharing the same document, copy paste the documents and programs and check it. Run programs. Okay. Second thing is I want you to print your biodata. Your biodata should have the name, then your address, and your cutoff marks, which you have scored for 12th standard. These 3 details should be there and it has to be printed. Okay. Then using the simple integer and float data type, you have to find the average of 5 numbers. Then you have to write find area of a circle. And this program, I will explain it because for this class, I don't want you to confuse. Okay. So on theory part, I want you to write about the data types. And Naren, please unmute your mic. Yes. What are the other questions I've given you?
Ma'am, about the header file.
Yeah, header file. That is std and conio. Okay. Was this the one question, Naren?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So these things will be the task for next 1.5 hours. So by 12:30, faculties will be joining you guys. Okay, they will be sending you 3 different Gmeet links. They will split you into 3 groups, and Levin sir and Shamla ma'am and Eunice ma'am, 3 faculties from your department. They will be sending you the links. Please join into the respective links and try to show your outputs. See, one request is if you're not able to do any of your programs, okay, it is not an issue. You request for additional time. Okay, you ask them for more time and you work on this. I don't want everyone to complete all the 4 programs and say I'm done with it. No. My expectation for the first class is I want you to understand what has been taught. I want you to go through the document which I have just taught you, and then you try to create account for REPL IDE, and then try at least one program it will do. If you are well versed in all these things, if you're good in programming, you can complete all the 4. Because since it is the very first class, please don't copy it. Don't copy the code from internet or don't get your code from your friends. Okay, I expect you to be very sincere, and if you have got doubts, please either call me or you can Google it, or you can reach other 3 faculties are there. Okay, you can reach faculties and you can get it done. Okay, so for next 1.5 hours, go through this document and try to complete these. Okay, try to complete all these questions. All right. So in instructions to submit this assignment, I will teach you in the next class, because for this class, as I've given you a week's time, okay, to complete these things. With this, I think we can wind up the class. Once again, I'll just copy this. The theory part also has to be completed. Okay, I will post it in the chat box so that you can have a look at it. Okay, so Ines ma'am, Shamla ma'am, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm there.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, good morning. Ma'am, what we can do is we can wind up the class now, and by 12:30, you please send 3 different links to the students, and accordingly, like 15 or 15 each, 15 students each faculty. Ma'am, am I audible?
No, ma'am.
Now you are audible, ma'am.
Sorry, there are some network issues. Okay. Sir, is it fine, sir? Because for the first class, I don't want them to rush and complete all these programs. Let them have a look at the document, and then let them do some self-study. Okay. And then let them come back with how much ever they are able to cover it. Correct?
Ma'am, your voice is breaking. Can you please give the instruction once more?
Yeah, one second, one second. Liban sir, sorry, some issues are there with the network.
Okay.
So I think if we can wind up the class, sir, by 12:30 we can check the
Oh,
outputs.
okay, ma'am. Okay.
Okay. Students, if you have got any points to discuss, you can take a couple of minutes to talk. Yes, Naren. Naren, what you do is please copy this last chat. There is a today's assignment,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
you please post it in your WhatsApp group.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay. So, are you guys clear with whatever we have discussed today's class? Akash.
Yes, ma'am. I clear.
Okay. Clear. Thank you. Anisha.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, guys. By 12:30, other 3 faculties will be joining. Okay. So again, I'm repeating this instruction because please don't copy, please don't rush to complete the assignment for today's class. Try to understand. You can either follow the same document or you can Google and get to know about what is it. Okay. So with this, I think we can wind up the class. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.